seeing the start of the game.
Nice. Just got to buy enough time to eventually get the correct information.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we go, spawning up in the top right, representing Germany. It is GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent in the lower left-hand corner for Clash. It is our red Zerg player, Reynor.
And it is important to note that Cascade, the team that several players in this DreamHack Masters were a part of, Soul, GunGFuBanDa, and who was the other player that was a part of it? Skillis, I think?
Somebody else.
I think it was Skillis.
Yeah, it was Skillis. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know if Cascade disbanded or what happened, but...
No, I just read, actually, I think last night I saw they put out a tweet. They said their main sponsor is no longer sponsoring them, so they've had to have some major cutbacks on the roster, but they are not disbanding. So hopefully they can find something else and maybe get some of these players back or find some new players and keep on going. They've been around for a while. I really like their players that they've had on their roster, and I've heard only good things. There hasn't been anything negative from anybody whose contracts just ended. Nobody said anything negative, it seems. So hopefully Cascade can keep it going.
That would be quite nice. I miss the days of Cascade Cass, when you could call him Cascade or Cascade. Those were fun times. We are seeing a hatch block here. Obviously, no 12 pool, as we can see right here. Hatch block goes to the third, does Reynor. And this is the kind of map where Queen Walk is on the table. You got to be careful. And GunGFuBanDa, though, he's not the kind of player that's pigeonholed into playing Stargate. He'll play Twilight Council. He'll play... Well, usually it's going to be Twilight Council, if anything.
Yeah. We have seen a lot of that, though. I feel like Twilight Council, even sometimes as a follow-up to the Stargate, is fairly common. And we'll see Glaives builds follow-up, sometimes even just straight to Blink. I've seen Blink Stalkers in this matchup more in the last 6 months than I think I ever did before.
They've definitely become quite common again, yeah.
That's been the power of the Void Ray, is that it's caused certain responses from the Zergs that can be kind of countered and played around with as far as a meta shift by the Protoss. So it's kind of cool to see strategies that we really didn't see for a long time in this matchup kind of get back into it.
Yeah, that is quite a nice thing. Now, we are going to be seeing a Stargate getting scouted right there. Great move from Reynor. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa going to get across the map with this Adept, and not going to be able to get... I don't even know if it fired a single shot. Did it hit the... No, I don't think so. Let's take a look at the battle report. Yeah, no, it got scouting information, like you said, which is good, but didn't get any actual info beyond that. Now, we are seeing no cutting of the third gateway unit here. So we are going to be seeing a double Adept to secure that base. No super crazy, like, trigger third base or anything like that. It's going to be the still very quick, you know, like 345, 350 base. Actually, no, he doesn't have the money just yet. Yeah, because he's gone for double Oracle.
But he's keeping the Oracle back at home, so he's not even trying to harass or anything with it. Oh, the probe's going to die, though.
That was a little bit sloppy.
The best micro from Reynor. I mean, he just popped in, got it, and left. But you're right. I think GunGfu must have been focused somewhere else because the Oracle was very late to turn on. He didn't kill a single Ling.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's
No, I'd agree with that. That is definitely not ideal. The Oracles are going to dive across the map now, and third base goes down a bit later than GunGfu wanted it, but still at a reasonable time.
Reynor with some really nice positioning on his queen so far. He is pushing those Oracles so far out. Like, they are already so far away from his mineral lines, and he's still intercepting them. That being said, we're going to see the Oracles darting on in. Oh, but a nice quick pull from Reynor. God, he's on top of it right now. He is looking sharp.
Yeah, he's not taking any damage here. And I think, you know what, I got to say, this feels like somebody who's been playing against Trap a lot in the last year, right? Trap's Oracle control is, I'd argue, the best in the world, right? Reynor had to be really good to take a lot of games off of Trap, which he has done. And this is the kind of control that you need against somebody who's really good with oracles.
Yep, it's important to note that Reynor has done this all without Spore Crawlers at the third or main base. Only in the natural did he have a Spore for a long time. And he still has taken barely any damage. Now, GunGFuBanDa does get the spot. He gets a Revelation, and he's going to see that this is, in fact, a Queen Walk build. But will he be able to deal with this? Ooh, we're already... Oh, okay, Reynor going to decide not to fight there. Okay, this is a cool response to Queen Walks. But
I like this a lot.
It only works if they don't build a layer. And we have seen some players starting to build... Oh, double adept. Ooh, not bad.
That's going to sneak in and get a little bit of damage. Charge on the way, too, which I don't hate that. I think Charge is a pretty good upgrade, but it's a ways off. So is GunGFu going to have time to really get into this? Oh, an Oracle falling. Yeah, this is looking very dangerous for the Protoss right now. A lot of stuff coming across the map and a ton of Lings joining up. Is the Dark Shrine going to be enough to save him here? I don't know that it is. He's going to take a ton of damage. He's going to lose the third base. Oracle's getting some counter damage done. Getting a few drone kills. Reynor's only on 48 workers. But yeah, he's getting a lair. He's getting more drones out. He might just kill this base and leave. Yeah, the Queens are walking home.
And they're going to get back to creep, which is the crucial part of this. So the DTs, the Shrine just now finishes up. It's not going to find anything. All the Queens make it back home safely. And, you know, Reynor, he can just go with another Queen Walk if he wants. But with more energy, more units, and a lair.
Yeah, he absolutely can. He's droned up a ton, so he's getting a good drone count. He knows he's ahead economically after killing that third base. We're seeing +1 melee. If we see a fourth base, it looks like it's just going to be some macro from Reynor for right now.
And he will scout the DTs. Is he going to be able to get this Nexus, though? I think he might just with those Lings. He is picking a fight at the front.
Very close. I think if he sends a few more Lings over, he'll guarantee it. But yeah, there it goes. GunGFu has to cancel it again. And now we're 7.5 minutes into the game, and GunGFu's stuck on 2 bases with a lot less army supply and nothing like really exciting tech-wise. He does have a Disruptor on the way. I think there was one Colossus out. No? Oh, all right. Looks like it's going to be 2 Disruptors then. But it's against Roach Ravager. It's enough Lings. I'm very worried for GunGFu in this game. This feels like Reynor's got it in the bag, and all he has to do is macro a bit and then just make non-stop units.
Yeah. I think he's already hit the point of just making non-stop units even. It's going to take some miraculous Disruptor shots. Of course, Banelings are really good against Disruptors in terms of dealing with them in low numbers, because you send from multiple angles. The Disruptors can only hit one angle. If the Banelings get on top of your army as the Disruptors connect, they're just detonating. You're basically just detonating the Banelings for your opponent. And if they don't hit the Banelings kill everything. And then you've got just a ton of Roach Ravager Ling to deal with. And I don't know, this is looking really, really good right now for Reynor. He's up 60 army supply.
Yeah, and he's going to have his +1 melee finish very soon. Banesby is a little bit off. He might wait for that before he really goes for the push. But look at this creep spread. It's diving forward. He's got the Queens right on the edge. He's getting ready. And GunGFu needs to prepare for this. I mean, he's walled himself in with Banelings.
Yeah, that was very funny. This is a ton of Banelings, by the way. We got 28 Banelings, 8 more in production. GunGFuBanDa, he's going to try and push, but his opponent is maxed out. Okay, well, that's a good disruptor shot.
But I don't think it's going to be enough. The splits from Reynor are a little too much. There's just not too much here for GunGFu.
Baneling speed finishes on up. He's going to roll on forward. Battery overcharge is getting popped, but there's barely any units for the German Protoss, and Reynor is going to take a very, very strong game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, from beginning to end, felt like Reynor's game, and that's what I was worried about a little bit here in this series. I want to see GunGFu take an advantage early. You know, Oracle openers, they're not very, they don't get a lot of momentum going. And that's really tough when you're up against somebody like Reynor to not have that early damage for you.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough when you're ahead. Reynor is a player that is incredibly good at playing from behind. So when he's ahead, he just becomes a completely different player.
It feels nearly unstoppable.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at there. If you're GunGFuBanDa, are you even still opening Stargate? Because the Triple Oracle is meant to be one of the safer options against a Queen Walk build. It's meant to be the safer version of Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wouldn't if I was GunGFu right now. I'd maybe go for some Glaive Adepts. I think that'd be a fine choice. Maybe even quick DT build. Something to give yourself an edge early on in the game. To give yourself just the ability to get some early damage done.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important. And we're going to be getting into game number 2. Could potentially be the last game of this EU phase of the bracket. And then after that, we'll switch to NA in an hour and a half from now. And here we go, spawning up in the top right. Needs to switch gears. It is the blue Protoss player, GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent in the lower left-hand corner, reigning world champion for Clash, it's Reynor.
And he is not going to get the hatch block here. He did send a pretty early probe scout, so that's a little bit weird to me.
Was that a 15 hatch? I think it was a 15 hatch. He
Oh,
went down
was
to
it?
14 fly for a second. Yeah, that's why he didn't get the block.
Oh, that's cute. Nice little adjustment right there. Love that.
That's really nice for Reynor.
For a while, we saw that as a pretty common response, but then Protoss players just started sending their probe scout even earlier. So Zergs were like, okay, I'll do 14 hatch. And then Protoss were like, okay, I'll send it even earlier. And then Zergs were like, fine. And then B, the one Zerg player was like, I'm an extractor trick 15 hatch.
He does that every game.
He does every single game. And I talked to Lambo about it. And I was like, oh man, what do you think of this? And he's like, yeah, it's not good. Don't do that. I'm like, oh, but like you get your hatch down. And he's like, yeah, it's worse mathematically. I was like, well, fair enough.
Have you seen, I don't want to derail this from our current match too much. Have you seen what B has been doing lately against Protoss? It's kind of gross. It's a fast burrow. He gets burrow before ling speed to block early thirds, and then makes a swell of lings so that the third gets delayed like 1 to 2 minutes every game. And all it is like a handful of lings and early burrow.
That is awesome.
It's gross. It's so good against Stargate. I'm sorry for every Protoss on the ladder that's gonna have to face that soon, because it's a quality build.
I'm definitely ripping that build because that sounds so cool.
We do have a Twilight Council opener here for GunGFu, so he was feeling what I was saying. The Stargate tempo play might just not be it against Reynor. Stargate's a very passive way to open the game, right? You give yourself a decent setup, but it is pretty passive until you get to either like 6 Void Rays or into whatever your ground army follow-up will be. But this is a very active way to start for GunGFu, and I think that's going to give him a better chance. Now, Reynor, of course, is going to be great at defending whatever this ends up being. But
yeah, he is a smart cookie. He knows what's up. He knows the responses. Now, are we going to be seeing resonating glaives? And if so, what exactly? Do you think it's DTs? Oh, okay.
You know what? I wasn't sure. I hadn't checked the gas yet, but
oh yeah,
yeah, there it is, glaives. It felt a little bit late. And
it does feel a little bit late, yeah.
But not too bad. I think glaives can be good here. We'll see how committed he gets. You know, you could do 2 base and like 6, 7 gates and just go super crazy. It could just be 4 gateways, pressure a little with the glaive adepts, try to split up a few adepts. I always say the scariest number of adepts is actually just 2.
Yeah.
That's it. Like 2 adepts, terrifying. With glaives, that kills drones in like no time flat.
Yeah. And if you split, let's say you have 12 Glaive Adepts. You send 10 into the natural expansion or the third or something, and then you shade 2 into the main, 2 into the natural. That's a nightmare for me, and I know that's a nightmare for a lot of other Zergs.
Yeah, like even Reynor with his really good crisis management, that's going to be tough to deal with. Pulling the drones to the right locations, making sure your units are there. Queens are pretty slow. I will say Reynor already has creep between all 3 bases, which is very clutch dealing with any Glaive Adept attacks.
Yeah, it really is. He's going for the DRG response, by the way, just the single gas response. And this is going to leave him in a little bit of a problematic state. Now, he is going to go for a counterattack with some of the Lings to try and break through the Stalker. But the Adepts, they're going to be tough to deal with. We will have the... Oh my god, he shades into the Lings.
I don't like that shade. The Queens on one side, but there's not a lot of DPS here. And as the Lings die, there's still a lot of Adepts left alive. He's trying to shade out instead of down to the natural, though. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, he cancels that shade.
Cancels. Okay, that's cute. But he's going to lose 6 of the Adepts. Oh, it shades out just barely. Or 1 HP. Wow. That was a great defense from Reynor. Reynor's in a fantastic spot now.
Yeah, and I don't know if I love those decisions for GunGFu. It felt a little weird. That initial shade into the Lings was not great. And then the follow-up shading out, Reynor doesn't have to worry about that. You know, he doesn't have to worry if your shade leaves his bases. So he doesn't have to send any units to really chase, which just makes it a lot easier to defend if the cancel happens. Did any drones die? One drone has died this game.
Oh, yeah. One drone is... I thought you meant to that little bit of harass. Reynor with a really nice quick pull. Hides behind those big mama queens. Look at them. Look at them with all that energy. Those are some beefy lasses.
They chunky.
Yeah, they're frightening to look at, though. Where are their eyes? Oh, God, their eyes are, like, on the bottom. Oh, those... Ooh.
Queens are terrifying. Like, if you think about a queen in real life, they gotta be, like, 12 feet tall. They are huge.
Oh, they're gigantic, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, Links around on the third.
That was a kill, not a cancel.
Oh, my God. And suddenly, GunGFu went from a bad position to... I don't know how he wins this game anymore.
Yeah. Oh, and he loses the war.
Oh my god.
Well, he's going to have to shade in and kill every single drone. Look at that Evo chamber block from Reynor. Oh, man, that's brilliant. He has lost 4 drones? Hang on.
4 drones. It's going to have to be a lot more than that to make up for that third being killed and not canceled. As I say that, 13 have now gone down. He does leave 2 in the main to try to deal a little bit more damage. But it looks like most of the Adepts have been chased away. Reynor down a few workers, but GunGFu's third base it's not even halfway done yet. So despite the fact that he got some good damage there,
well, hang on,
closer.
This is a lot of damage.
Too soon, maybe.
This shouldn't have happened. Reynor was, this is a little bit awkward for Reynor right now.
Yeah, he was in an almost unlosable position, but GunGFu has pulled it back to at least comparable. Like it's okay, but it's still
not
great.
Even yet. Yeah,
that army is not. That's not looking too hot. Once there's a Colossus or 2 out, maybe there's thermal lands, I'll feel a little better. But there's a Spire on the way, and what deals with mutas here?
Well, it's not robotics units, and that's about half the army right now.
Yeah, you think the 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries can handle any number of mutas?
I think they can really believe, and with the power of friendship, die anyways.
The heart of the cards. And that's plenty of Roach Ravager, I think, to hold on here with some Queens, maybe some Ling reinforcements. The hallucinated Warp Prism is so cute, but...
He does it.
It just dies.
Now, this double Adept move is really nice. 5 drones, and he scouts the Spire. Now, what is the response going to be? Does he go Stargate?
He's already got Blink on the way, which is a good start, but Blink Stalkers do not do that well. Yeah, and there it is. There's a Stargate. Just a
Reynor
single
sees
one.
this.
I almost want him to go double Stargate.
I'm kind of with you on that. If I'm Reynor and I see this, I think I'm still going for it. You know what? Actually, in response to the 1, I'm going for at least like 7 mutas. and then just harass, you know?
I would not hate if Reynor actually just went fully hard on mutas. Like, +1, make as many mutas as possible from now on. Because one Stargate, Phoenix, that takes about 100 years, and you just can't catch up. Well, you don't have enough Phoenix to really catch up to the mutas. By the time you kill one muta, there's 4 more.
Yeah, and it's this kind of like middle of the road thing where you don't have enough Blink Stalkers or like sentries or whatever to do like a really dedicated push because you're building those Stargate units.
Yeah, and you know what? There's no Templar Archive, so there's not going to be a single Archon, which is very scary.
That being said, we are seeing Reynor not build any mutas, and you know what? Against an opponent who is now getting aggressive. Ooh, nice little counterattack coming in from Reynor. Against GunGFuBanDa, who is going to be going for this very aggressive counter push, it's probably a good call. Oh, that supply blocks GunGfu.
Oh, man, and it pulls the army back. So now Reynor is kind of just chilling on his side of the map. He's got a ton of units out, making more Lings, more Banes. And yeah, he's gone for kind of the bamboozle, right? He let the Spire finish, but he hasn't made a single muta. Now there's Phoenixes coming out. I guess it's good GunGfu didn't commit to double Stargate, but it's feeling like Reynor could hot switch to muta at some point if he wanted to, but he does not have a lot of money right now. He's spending it all on units. He wants to go for a fight, and GunGfu needs to take a perfect fight here. That is so many Banelings.
Oh my god, it's 49 Banelings coming in from multiple angles. The sentries, there's not enough of them. They're trying to break this army up, but there's so many Banelings.
And the Banelings crashing through. They're going for the probes and the shield batteries. Colossi falling here. It's just left to the Stalkers. Look at the Phoenix come over. They're going to lift 2 Ravagers.
And promptly one of them dies.
Oh my god. It looks like GunGfu will clean these Roaches and Ravagers up, but at what cost? That is 21 probes going down. GunGfu's army is at 28 supply. Oh. He loses the Colossus. Oh no.
And I love it. Reynor was actually going to get that Colossus regardless because he had Lings coming in from the bottom side. That's a really, really nice move from Reynor. And Reynor absolutely wipes his opponent's army out. He repopulates with a ton of Zerglings very quickly. As you mentioned, there was no Templar Archives, no Archons, so Zerglings are actually going to be really powerful. Nice cancel on those Banelings, but a full surround, yeah, that's going to be it.